What's going on, YouTube? John Matrix here. And it's finally happened. We're finally getting some gameplay footage from Ark Survival Ascended. They've dropped a trailer today at the Xbox showcase. And, you know, it's about time, really. You know, they announced this a while ago. They took the public servers down for Ark Survival Evolved at the end of September. They said this game was going to be out in October. We've got, like, what? This is the last week of October. And they're just now releasing the trailer. And, you know, if you go to Steam, it still says coming soon with no release date, which, you know, this is typical of Studio Wildcard. You know, they announced Ark 2 2 years ago. I believe they had a release date for the game set for this past summer. And obviously it's not out. We're past that. And, you know, it's par for the course, really. I think every expansion that they've put out for this game has been delayed significantly. I mean, and not by like hours or days or even weeks. Like, I think Aberration was delayed by like a week, or not a week, about like a month and a half. And I think Genesis, or not Genesis, Extinction was delayed by like almost 3 months, if not maybe even a little longer than 3 months. Then I think Genesis was delayed by over a month. So like all of their expansions, they just end up having delays. So it's something that we've all kind of gotten used to. But Ark is just one of those games, man. It's just one of those gem of a games that, you know, it's just a unique experience. And it's just one of those games where either you really enjoy it and, you know, or you don't, and it's just not, you know, typically a game for you. But it's just, it's a game that is always fun to just jump back in and just hang out and chill out with your friends and run around in game and, you know, build your bases and tame dinos and, you know, raise them, do the mating and mate boosting, do the boss raids and cave dives and, you know, all kinds of stuff. And so I'm eager to see what improvements they're going to have for this game. And, you know, whenever this is going to be, you know, relaunched, re-released. So I guess let's get in here. Let's take a look at this trailer, and then we'll go through and we'll break it down and, you know, see what all I notice. So let's see here. Bop. Do it. Okay, so they're doing an homage to how the game starts. I mean, it looks really good. Like, look at the hair on the Megatherium. It's showing the beach and the redwood, and this is the ice, you know, biomes. They're showing the different biomes. They're showing the water movement, the dynamic water. All the little wild babies. Okay, that's something I'll talk about. A picture of the raptor. Oh, the ghillie dude. Okay. It looks like they might have redone the map completely too, because there's a lot of these areas look new. The lighting looks really good. You can see the dynamic lighting change as they're walking through with the torch and the flashlight. That looks very Aberration. They've redone the caves. Those are the drops. The drops look dope. The old Sarco coming out of the water. And yeah, that looks completely different. All the Spino. Spino's my favorite dino. I love Spinos. Okay, that was dope. You see the water rippling from the explosion. I mean, it looks good. The old Yudi. They're showing the bosses. I mean, the lighting is really the big thing that you notice. Oh, they're showing the different, like, arcs above there. Okay. Ark Survival Ascended. Alright, so Steam, Xbox Series S, and PlayStation 5. Okay. So I'm gonna go back through here and kind of go through stuff and kind of pause and talk and give my thoughts on things. So So my first question is, you know, I wonder if this is actually in-game footage or if this is generated. And this was supposed to be shown at the Xbox showcase earlier. So if this is what the game looks like on the current gen Xbox consoles, then obviously on, you know, a modern PC with a modern graphics card, etc., it should look even better and run even better. So that's like the first, you know, question I have is that, you know, is that the case? Is this actual in-game footage, and is this on the consoles or not? But yeah, like I said, it looks like they've redone, you know, the island map. And so, like, you look at the Triceratops here, or, you know, the animals, they definitely look like more upscaled. The foliage looks a lot more upscaled. You can really tell on the hair here with the Megatherium, you know, how upscaled it looks. But for the most part, the models are exactly the same. And we can see the foliage moving, you know, dynamically as it's walking through properly. This looks like a whole new area. This is kind of like ruins area over here. As far as I know, this doesn't look like a spot that's on the island currently. This could just be them showing off, you know, what new ruin models look like, because there's a lot of ruins around the island for those that, you know, haven't necessarily played this game, and there's usually survival notes in there around those things. It's showing the redwood and the snow biomes. So here we're getting, you know, a Titanoboa coming out of the water, and it's kind of showcasing the ripples coming off here as it's exiting, showing how dynamic the water is. Now this is potentially somewhat of a big deal here, having wild babies. Currently in Ark Survival Evolved, it was something they wanted to add in, I believe, but they never did. Being able to capture and tame wild animals from an infant state and raising them that way, instead of necessarily having to, you know, capture, like, knock out the adults, capture them, tame them, and then, you know, go through the mating process and raising, you know, them from eggs, you know, incubating eggs and stuff like that. So I think I read they want to add a lot of different ways to tame animals. So this is, you know, looks like potentially one of the ways they're going to be adding is to, you know, steal infants out of nests and raise them that way. So that could be a pretty big deal. And then this right here, first off, you know, this is the wood structures. It looks much better, much more updated. But there's also this awning here, you know, this overhang. This is a new type of construction. This isn't currently in Ark Survival Evolved. You couldn't make like awnings or overhangs like this before. And this, like, almost, it looks like it's like a pillar on top of the roof. You couldn't really do that before, and they're showing off the pillars right here. But the other thing is like, you can see the water on it, you know, is actually making the textures look wet. You know, and that's not something that happened in Ark Survival Evolved. We see the little monkey there. The raptor looks good. And yeah, you blend in really well with the ghillie suit here. I'm curious how stealth exactly you are. Stealth was one of the things in Ark Survival Evolved that didn't really always work so well. Like, they had ghillie suits, and it was one of the ways where you'd be able to, you know, get close enough to dinos. There are certain tames where you have to, like, passively tame dinos, essentially, to, or you have to, like, go up and feed them. And some of the predatory dinosaurs, you know, if you weren't wearing a ghillie suit, it would make it extremely difficult, and they would just attack you, and you'd have to start all over. It was a pain in the ass, honestly. But, like, look at this scene here with the lighting, the god rays coming through here, in the redwood forest. You can see, like, the fog and the mist, and it's not necessarily, like, really obscuring vision, but it's just enhancing it, and it looks beautiful. Showing the Gallimimus, showing the water ripples and effects as it's jumping through with the Basilosaur here. This really feels like it's like a tech demo showing off, you know, a lot of what they're adding to the game as far as the new engine really goes. Because we're not seeing any new real dinosaurs. We're just seeing updated textures, lighting, graphics, you know, etc., etc. And it looks good. Don't get me wrong. But this is playing more as like a tech demo than an actual like launch trailer, because obviously the game hasn't launched yet. It still has coming soon labeled on Steam, so it's not launched. But it makes me wonder like how long it's going to be before they launch it, because if they're just showing off now currently, you know, the lighting effects and the physics effects and how the textures and everything of the dinosaurs and how everything in the engine's interacting with each other, like how far do they still have to go before they're ready to release? But it looks really good. The dynamic lighting, all the vines moving in the background as the bats are flying through it, and how the lighting is changing and reflecting. You know, I'm assuming this is you know, RTX or path tracing, I guess, is the new kind of technology version of that. That's supposed to be even more realistic, which I think has just been added into Cyberpunk. It looks like they've redone the caves completely, and this looks more like what the Aberration expansion looked like, pretty much. And this looks beautiful. I mean, like you just look at the water dripping down and the reflections and the lighting. It adds a lot to the game. And those are the drops where you can get items, Sarco coming out of the water. See, the thing about this right here is like they were showing off like the water physics and the ripples, and you don't really see the water changing very much with this one. We got the T-Rex coming up on top of the hill yelling. And, of course, we got the Spino. Spino's my favorite dino. I love the Spino. There's not much, I mean, it's just the best. But yeah, you see the splash. It splashes the water. So this is the callback to one of the old trailers. This right here, the impact in the explosion rippling the water, that's pretty cool looking. That's definitely pretty sick. And the objects flying into the water, the dinos getting scared and knocking, you know, the trees around. And when the tree's falling here and impacting the other trees, it's moving stuff. Like, it looks dope. Wolf taking a poop. I mean, and like the lighting here in the cave just looks sick. The old Droidica. I mean, it looks great. Like, you can't really argue with how good, you know, it looks. Like, it looks really good. It definitely is an improvement over what Ark Survival Evolved currently is. It's just a question of how much is, you know, how big of a change is it going to be to, I guess, you know, is it worth the asking price, essentially, what they're doing? You know, originally it was going to be a free update, then it was going to be a $60 update, and then I think you're going to have to buy the expansions. Then I think they were going to bundle it in with Ark 2, and now I think it's going to be its own thing. But I think if you do buy it, the expansions are still included in it now, I think. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm sure I will get it. The question is, when am I gonna get it? It might be something where I wait until all the expansions are out, which I believe they've said they want to have them out before the end of next summer, but this is a wild card, so who knows how long it's actually going to take for them to upgrade and port over all of the expansions with all the new dinosaurs they're going to be adding. I think they've said they're adding 11 new creatures throughout the various expansions into Ark Survival Ascended. So I mean, who knows exactly how long it's going to take for a wild card to get a lot of this stuff out. But I also, a part of me thinks that they're also doing this because they want to have Ark Survival Ascended and Ark 2 to be two separate things that they support at the same time. I feel like, because from what, if you go to the description of Ark 2, let me just pull it up here on Steam. and just read the description of Ark 2 here. Survive the past, tame the future. Suddenly awaken in a primal world filled with dinosaurs and humans struggling for dominance. You must team up with legendary heroes and confront powerful dark forces. Saddle up and join the definitive next-gen Ark Survival Experience Ark 2. Okay, well, they changed it. Interesting. Let me see here. Because, yeah, Souls-like melee combat. They changed the description because I remember the descriptions reading that they want it to be specifically a Souls-like experience, a multiplayer, you know, survival Souls-like experience. And they do still have some of that down here. If you scroll down a little more. Souls-like melee combat, target lock, blocks, dodges, combo, stagger, special attacks, emphasizing player skill-based action. So that is not at all what Ark Survival Evolved and what Ascended is, you know, and especially from the trailer we just watched. That is not at all what Ark is currently. So I feel like they want to have, I feel like the devs played, you know, Conan Exiles and they liked it, and they're trying to make a version of Ark like that, and they want to have a more primitive oriented, no high technology, you know, more, I guess, melee and dinosaur focused game in a primitive era version of Ark. And so I think Ark 2 and Ark Survival Ascended are going to be two separate games that they're going to support at the same time, but they're going to be like split off from each other. And I feel like they're going to keep adding more expansions and more things to Ark Survival Ascended along with Ark 2. And I just think they're going to be two separate games that diverge from each other at some point or somehow in the lore, you know, because there is actually a story and lore to the game. So I mean, those are my thoughts on what they're doing with that. So and they've already explained that they're using Ark Survival Ascended to really learn how to work with the Unreal 5 engine properly, so that they can get what they want in the game. Because there's a lot of things they wanted to do with Ark Survival Evolved that they just couldn't do, or it would be too complicated and they would have to rework a lot of the code and redo a lot of the engine and the older Unreal, and it just wouldn't be worth it. But now that Unreal 5's out, you know, they're able to go through and do that, and you know, it's just a better engine, more efficient engine. They're just able to do more with it, I guess. So, but anyway, so yeah, I mean, those are my thoughts on it. It looks really good. I'm excited for it. It's just a question of when is it going to be out and how much is it actually going to cost, because they keep changing that. And I guess the other question also would be is, you know, how buggy is Ark Survival Ascended going to be when it comes out? You know, is it going to be, you know, super buggy? What all engrams are going to be in? I think they've already said that whatever stuff came, there will only be things in there that were in the game on release other than new dinosaurs. Like, for instance, the Rhinonathia was the last creature released for Ark Survival Evolved, and it's on the island, excuse me. So I think that will be on release there as well. But like cryopods, for example, that's a technology that didn't get released until Extinction. So I don't think you'll have cryopods until they port over Extinction and put the Extinction expansion out. Kind of a situation. So we'll see. We'll see. But I'm looking forward to it. I just hope that it's out soon, and I hope that it'll be worth the asking, you know, price they're going for here. So we'll see. But thank you guys very much. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. How excited are you for Ark Survival Ascended? What do you think about the game? Do you think it's going to be a worthwhile upgrade? Are you looking forward to it? Are you upset that they took down, you know, the public servers for Ark Survival Evolved, or you just want to stay with that? Or you're not happy about, you know, what they're doing with Survival Ascended, you know, etc.? Let me know down in the comments. But if you're watching the video here to the end, I do appreciate it. It helps me out, helps the channel grow. If you enjoyed the video, you know, consider leaving a like and a subscribe, because again, it helps me out and helps the channel grow. So I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Hope you're having yourself a wonderful day, and I will see you guys next time.